May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord. Amen. This week, we celebrate Christ the King, or Reign of Christ Sunday. It's a hinge week between the liturgical seasons of ordinary time and Advent, green, purple, white. When we pause to reflect on the meaning of Christ's kingship before we delve into the mysteries of light and darkness, hope and lament, prophecy and incarnation. Given the pomp and circumstance we typically associate with kings, we might turn to the lectionary this week expecting to find passages that sound, well, kingly. Something glorious from the book of Revelation, or perhaps about Jesus sitting on his throne, decked out in splendid robes and a jeweled crown. Or something majestic from Isaiah. A son will be given to us and the government will rest upon his shoulders. Or at least a shiny moment from one of the Gospels. Jesus transfigured on the mountaintop. Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. Jesus emerging from the waters of baptism, heaven thundering in his ears. But no, we find none of these. What we find instead is a crucifixion scene. A stripped and suffocating man racked with pain. A crowd of mockers spewing hate. A man hanging between thieves, derision in his ears, speaking blessing and promise to someone less fortunate than himself. We pause for a moment and contemplate the paradox that is at the heart of our faith. This is our King. This is our King. If there is any moment in the Christian calendar that must smack all smugness out of us, all arrogance, all self-righteousness, all contempt, this one has to be it. Our King was a dead man walking. His chosen path to glory was the cross. If paradise was anywhere, it was with him, only and exactly where his oppressors left him to die. Today, with me, paradise. What does it mean in the time and place we live in, a time marked by greed, selfishness, and bitter partisanship, to honor Christ's kingship through his passion? What does the cross offer us by way of example, warning, and benediction? What version of citizenship might we live out that will begin to mirror our King's? As I sit with this week's lectionary passages, what strikes me most is what I don't see. I see no path to glory that sidesteps humility, surrender, and sacrificial love. I see no permission to secure my prosperity at the expense of another's suffering. I see no tolerance for the belief that holy ends justify debased means. I see no evidence that truth-telling is optional. I see no kingdom that favors the contemptuous over the brokenhearted. And I see no church that thrives when it aligns itself with brute power. Where does this leave us? I think it leaves us with a king who makes us profoundly uncomfortable. As I survey the political and cultural landscape that is in the United States right now, I wonder what it means to bend the knee to a king who exchanged his crown for cross. As we engage in strained conversation with Christians who see the landscape differently than we do, are we struggling to honor a sovereign who spoke words of blessing even in his darkest hour? As we hear people minimizing the severity of the domestic and global crises we are facing, remember that grace in the crucified one's kingdom is neither easy nor cheat. It cost the king his life. As we are faced with those who tell us to make peace at all costs, try to hang on to the fact that Jesus died because he made no peace with oppression. As we are tempted to couch either denial or apathy in some version of, calm down, God's in control, we are reminded that Jesus' kingdom is incarnational through and through. It's a cop-out to expect God to act when we will not. Even as Jesus hung on the cross, he spoke hope to a thief who needed solace. He hung in the gap between one man's derision and another man's hunger, absorbing both into his broken body. This is our King. My prayer for us during these challenging times is that we will find ways to walk as Jesus walked, to spend ourselves for the love of the other, to listen, to protect, to endure, and to bless, to find strength in the love of both friends and strangers, and to rally fiercely and relentlessly to shield the vulnerable from terror and harm. The truth is, the church has always proven itself in times of peril. Peril brings forth prophets. It lights holy fires. It teaches us the radical nature of love. After Christ the King Sunday, we will enter into Advent, a season of waiting, longing, and listening. Holding firm to our vision of a better kingdom, we will walk into the expectant darkness, waiting for the light to dawn, and straining to hear the first cries of new life. Yes, there are reasons for fear right now. Reasons for anger, reasons for grief. But we are not a people bereft of hope. We are not abandoned. We know where to look for paradise. And we have a King like no other. The very best King for this hour. Amen. God, I'm just having a good again. Oh yeah, Christmas parade's coming up. I'm excited about that. December 3rd is the Christmas parade with our sidewalk concessions. Be here at 3:30 or be here at 3? That's the question.
Does anybody remember what we did last year? If I had another time.
Is that at 6 o'clock start?
Yeah.
6 o'clock. At 3:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if like 3:30 started the setup or by 3:30 we needed to be set up.
It comes around once a year, right?
Okay.
You should remember those details.
We'll figure that out.
If it's really cold, then they'll want to have chocolate fast.
There you go.
I believe the floats are replaced at 4.
Okay. All right.
3:30 is
So 3:30. Okay. All right. We've got a couple more confirmation classes in preparation for the bishop's visit on December 11th. So we're excited about that. Advent soup and suppers start Wednesday, December 7th. No.
November 30th.
November 30th. I was like, that's not right. November 30th. There are a couple requests for funding for community things. Please check out your announcements for that. Is there anything else I need to immediately mention?
Thank you for those who were able to come out and help us as we did some indoor work yesterday, including replacing the lights and the very high up fans in here.
Nice.
I know that the time doesn't work for everybody, but it always is a lot of fun, and we get more done than a single person could. So thank you for everybody who was able to do this.
Thank you. It does look good. I did notice it. And whoever cleaned the work closet, I think it might have been Christina. It looks good in there. I was looking for something.
A lot of effort and time is put into the library. It may not be that much, but there's
So then we had a tour of the historic churches downtown on Sunday, December the 11th, from 1 until 3. We hope for 2 to 4, because that's the same day our bishop will be here. So I know for us, it may take a little tweaking, but Bedford Revitalization is asking the churches to be open those 2 hours for tours. It's a special time of the year, a special season in the church. A lot of the churches will be dressed up for Christmas. Ours will not be necessarily, but that's all right because we can tell our story that way. And but for those 2 hours, the church will be open to the community to come. It's free of charge. There are 6 churches. They're all the historic limestone churches in downtown. The Church of Christ. I'm sorry, the Church Catholic Church, the Presbyterian Church, the Christian Church, First United Methodist Church, St. John's, and also the Missionary Landmark one that's a block away from here. So all 6 of those. BRI will also have a historic stainless window calendar for sale. I think St. John's is in it twice, 6 churches, 12 months. St. John's is awesome thing. So anyway, you don't have to support the calendar, but if you feel like seeing the other churches or church, happy that we're a part of that, and we can promote churches in our community.
We can let the bishop know if you want to stay for it. You never know.
Absolutely.
Is it a guided tour or you just?
It is a guided tour.
Where does it start?
So it's actually, you can start, there'll be information at each of the churches. We don't really want to pigeonhole people in that they all have to shepherd around the same time, or we get close to people. So it's best that it's not one that we're going to take a bus or anything like they maybe have.
So it's a self-guided tour. You can go whichever church you want to go to first. They'll have information, and you can walk around the church with the information.
There will be a diocesan in each one who will explain, that will explain the stations and the different things of each church. So anyway.
So if you are interested in providing the tour for St. John's, please let me know. I'll write the script and tell you what to say. If you would like to be the one to interact with people and share a little bit about history, Marla has a great resource I'm using, and I'm learning things that I didn't know at the time that I've been here. So like, the Bell's the name. I just learned that. Kind of cool stuff.
Cool. We will also be doing another open house on the 18th, 20th.
Whatever that is.
Whatever the Tuesday is after the 18th, which is a Sunday. So 20th. So the 20th, we will also be doing another open house. That one will be where everything is green. So we will be decked out for Christmas. It is also the date I am considering for lessons and carols. So if you are interested in that service, we're thinking about doing the open house and then doing the service back in that. So that's a lot. Yes.
And they had asked, will we be using the spotlights again on the inside of the church to have a lit green Christmas as we have in the past?
You mean the timer?
What?
Yes.
It should run it from 6 till
Well, they had asked me not to hold the mic. I thought that was really happening.
Cool. Somebody, thank you. All right. Any other announcements for the good of the order? Any birthdays or anniversaries?